Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene from the Bircktown Brewery at 33rd and Peoria here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Coach Cloud, it's been a busy week here of sports. We got a lot to talk about, including, of course, you attended the Tulsa World's incredible banquet, the All-World Sports.
It's a fantastic thing that Barry Lewis and Mike Brown and Garen Emig, put that together along with the entire staff, because the whole staff is there. But to recognize the 19 sports and especially the comeback player, and then our good friend Mike Mims, on the Lifetime Achievement Award. What a great night for Tulsa Athletics, Northeast Oklahoma. Yeah. Really, I think because it is a Northeast Oklahoma, wherever the coverage of the Tulsa World is, they want to recognize those student athletes.
We'll talk more about that in our hot topics. We'll give you the lineup for the show. Of course, Southern Hills Country Club is our absolute jewel in the state of Oklahoma as far as golf goes. We're going to have their director of golf with us, Kerry Cosby, and Russ Myers, the main force behind the superintendent of the golf course, of the total renovation of that historic country club. Tulsa Drillers second half, we'll have the voice of the Drillers, Dennis Higgins, will be joining us on the show. Roughnecks will have their president, general manager, should say, Wayne Farmer, and one of their outstanding midfielders, young player, Tulsa Union guy, right? DJ Dean.
DJ Dean was a Redskin. I asked him, Chris asked him if he remembered me, and he said no. And I said, I left in 91. He said, I was born in 98.
Get that a lot here. And we're going to talk youth soccer as well. Sonny D'Alessandro is bringing a young soccer player from him, and they're going to talk about youth soccer that's so big in the state of Oklahoma. Hot topics right now, I guess we start with NBA free agents, and not a surprise, the NBA draft. Zion Williams, no surprise there, right?
No, Williamson, although I did like Garen Emig's article this morning that he said, I think Kyler Murray should have gotten the award. He played two sports.
That's right, see?
And Diane, he only played one,
We had 4 Big 12 players selected in the NBA draft. Jarrett Culver of Texas Tech, Jackson Hayes of Texas, Taylor Horton, a forward from Iowa State, Iowa State player too. Brandon Shyok, also picked by the Big 12. And a Tulsa U kid, Daquan Jeffries, signed a free agent contract with the Orlando Magic.
He really played well toward the end. And really, when you stop and think about the draft, they don't take that many players.
Yeah.
So, for him to sign a free agent, he's got a shot just like everybody else.
Got to ask you, Coach, big news from Oklahoma football. They're so excited. They just signed their quarterback of the future for the class of 2021. This kid out of Georgia, Brock Vandergriff, as a sophomore. Getting a commitment from a 17-year-old sophomore. What do you think, Coach?
Well, I kind of feel like our good friend Pat Jones. It's all fluff until they get there.
That's right.
These magazines that pick these signees and so on and so forth, it's all speculation.
Yeah.
What happens if he gets an ACL?
Oh, boy.
Is he still a number 1 pick? So there's so many variables in there. You hope that it works well. And, really, here's the thing. Oklahoma is in a great position right now to continue to do that, because it's almost become quarterback U because of the Heisman Trophy and everything. So it's a good night, and hopefully for them. Am I choking you up?
I know. I'm getting choked up here thinking about it. Talk about the Tulsa World banquet again.
Well, the Tulsa World was really great. If you want to go and see the highlights and see everything in Northeast Oklahoma in every sport, you need to spend that Saturday night with the Tulsa World and all of our friends. It's great to show what the athletes have done in their career, and it was really a great night to have those kids one last time. In some cases, some of them are underclassmen, so they'll be back again. But what a great evening for high school athletics in the state of Oklahoma.
The Girl Athlete of the Year was Gabby Gregory. We've had her on our show, the Holland Hall Outstanding Basketball Player, the Gatorade Girls Player of the Year in Oklahoma, and going to OU. And Broken Arrow State Champion Wrestler, football star Zach Marcelli also being honored.
And, it was really interesting because his dad came up to get the plaque and had his TCU baseball cap on because he's going to TCU to play football.
And you mentioned Mike Mims getting honored.
Mike Mims, a lifetime award. Things that Mike did that nobody knows about is incredible. Nobody remembers that Mike Mims and H.J. Green and Nancy McDonald stood on the steps of Booker T. Washington the day it was integrated.
Wow.
And, he was an icon and still is. And, and I'm just glad he's a good friend of ours, and well-deserved all the years he spent in education at every level. He was at elementary, he was at junior high. He coached Division I with Billy Tubbs at Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then came back and won state championships at Booker T, and ended up as an assistant principal. And he really has dedicated his life to education of kids.
And the big international story in sports, of course, is the FIFA World Cup soccer going on in France. And as we tape our show, USA now undefeated, heading to the quarterfinals. They got by with a couple of penalty kicks, got by Spain earlier this week, 2-1, and they'll take on the host team, France, Friday in the World Cup. We'll be covering that more as we go along here. Coach, again, it's been an incredible week of sports, busy time here. Looking forward to having our next two guests on from Southern Hills to talk about the club.
Well, Gary Cosby and Russ Myers have been given a charge from the membership. They want to improve their golf course. And,
yes.
and I tell you, what I have seen in driving up the path to get to the meetings that I have to go to, it is absolutely marvelous. You won't believe how good it looks. The practice area, when you come right in the front gate, as you go up, all the renovations that they've changed the practice area from up at the front where the club was back to the west side of it's really going to be fantastic.
Well, you'll enjoy seeing it, hearing those guys, seeing some great video. That's coming up next on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Take a look at the new, the old Southern Hills Country Club. Stay with us.
Cheers. Cheers. All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
It's summertime in Oklahoma, and that, of course, means golf. And we've got two guys representing the premier golf course in this part of the country, we think the entire world, in fact, the historic Southern Hills Country Club. Good to have you with us.
Great to be here.
It's the director of golf here, the head professional, Kerry Cosby, and Russ Myers. Been doing a lot of work as they've totally renovated Southern Hills. And Gil, that is the mecca of golf around here.
No question about it. I know being on the first tee board,
Right.
And driving out there and looking at the progress every quarter.
Oh, you did see it, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
it was absolutely amazing the last time we had our quarterly meeting because it was almost ready.
Yeah, you
And,
probably thought there's no way we're going to make it when you saw it the previous
exactly,
quarter. Yeah,
exactly. But what a great change in the look of the golf course as you come in up the driveway.
Yeah, it's good. He's the guy. So I was fielding the questions, but he was doing the work out there in the field. So,
Russ, talk about the project again. How long was it? And I think you guys finished probably on time, on budget too.
Correct.
Yeah, Nick Sidorka's very happy.
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
well,
right.
Nick doesn't let anything happen that isn't on time and on budget. But we started August 1st, basically, and opened up here at the end of May. We went through a total rebuild of the greens, tees, bunkers, a few fairway expansions, a little bit of tree removal. We built a whole new short game practice area south of the club's entry drive that it really has enhanced the look of that area and added an additional option for members and guests to use. It's been a perfect project from that standpoint. An unbelievably horrible winter to do a project with the weather, but amazingly our contractors and architects and everybody were able to keep that thing trugging along through the winter and came out with a really great product there.
Talk about the very innovative watering system for the greens at Southern Hills.
Well, the biggest thing we put in there is a system we refer to it as hydronics, which is effectively radiant heating and cooling of the greens like you would in your home floor. So you've got water being piped underneath the greens.
Your home floor,
12
not
inches.
my home floor, so, or his home floor.
Yeah, I
probably.
don't have it. And it's hot or cold water. So, we're seeing, I'm talking with fellow superintendents around the area, and last week when we were a little warmer, our soil temps and our greens are running about almost 15 degrees cooler than greens that aren't treated. So that's a big deal for us in the winter.
I'm familiar with that because I spent 6 years in Iowa. And they do that with the floors up there. They cool them and everything. And what amazed me about Iowa golf is they take the flags out November 1st and put them back April 1st. When I moved up there, I said, golf season? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But really, how will that help the longevity of your greens? Are you going to make them last longer?
Without putting the viewers to sleep, getting too deep into the weeds, I just basically say that, to grow grass in Oklahoma in the heat of the summer, you need everything to really be going your way. You need a good soil base, you need good grasses, you need fans, you need different things, and you need good staff. To some degree, if your soil's not as good, you can still survive that with tools that can control the temperature of the greens. So that's really ultimately extends the life of the greens, allows us to operate. I always give the analogy that the hardest 2 months of the year to grow grass in Oklahoma on bent grass would be July and August. Well, we're effectively going to fool the grass into thinking it's September and June.
Yeah.
You know what I always heard, the two toughest jobs in Oklahoma was the head football coach at the University of Oklahoma and the greenskeeper.
There's days I wish I had his, but I'm sure I don't.
Farming for an audience. Kind of stuff.
Well, Russ,
Yeah,
Kerry,
right.
you guys have been handed one assignment, though. How do you improve on perfection? And, of course, with such great history, such great tradition, what pressure on you guys to make it just not the same, but even better? Hard to imagine.
Well, I'll take a little stab on this one. One thing that the focus of the membership, as it rightly so, was on the golf course. They're protecting the Mona Lisa. They didn't want anything bad to happen to it, and luckily they entrusted all of us, not just us, but the entire staff there, along with Gil Hance, to make the right decision. But one of the great things that's come out of this, I think, is the practice facilities, the whole entry drive to the club, the operational efficiencies that have improved with just the bag drop and the car parking and the parking lot for the golf. All of that is much cleaner, much more efficient. The practice facilities are off the charts. People have less and less time to play golf these days. There's more kids' activities, more things going on, and our practice facilities are second to none now. To where if you only have an hour to come out versus coming out to play golf for 3.5 or 4 hours, now you have a really great area to practice. As you saw driving in, that short game area that Russ mentioned to you earlier. But our new golf performance center is state of the art, is as good as you'll ever walk into. So we have technology. We can teach the game year round. People can practice year round when the weather is bad. So or when it's really hot. Not just hot, but not cold.
And what effect will that have on future tournaments, professional tournaments, amateur tournaments, those kinds of things?
Practice facilities, I don't know if that would have an effect. I think that the golf course it's more about the golf course, more about the community for bigger tournaments. Practice facilities would be icing on the cake for an event like that. Really about the membership with the practice facilities. The golf course and the infrastructure, I think that's been improved, will be a big benefit to those tournaments. So,
How much did you stay true to Perry Maxwell in the original? I know you brought back a stream and redid some things and stuff. Talk about that to us, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, the original planning all was geared around some aerials from 1945 and original photos. We have our historian at the club, a member by the name of Clyde Chrisman, worked the entire project finding any photos we could find from the original layout, where we knew that changes hadn't been made to certain areas. And all the work Gil did was geared around that. So whether it was reinstituting a split fairway on 2, removing a greenside bunker front left on 3, going to backside 10, the fairway used to jet down a lot closer and the creek ran down there along it. 11, a little creek left of the green, a lot of little things that added up. So 17 holes on the golf course are about as close to restoring them as you can functionally. The lone hole that has been changed is one that's been changed many times over the years, the 7th hole. Never quite gotten what we felt was perfect. Gil presented the original type of restoration to the club, and also they asked him to present a version he thought might be better for us. The board decided to go with Gil's version, and I think Kyle's will tell you so far the data's working that it's a pretty darn tough hole, and it's a pretty awesome hole too.
It's a beautiful hole though.
And not to get off topic, but you mentioned the first tee earlier. I'll make one note. One of the neat things that happened as a part of this project was Gil donated his time to redo a couple of the bunkers out at the first tee facility.
Oh, that's
at
great.
Mohawk.
His time and staff,
and the club, supported that cost. So it was good.
Well, I get a more dramatic shot than standing on that first tee, looking at the city skyline and stuff. Is incredible. Who wants to handle the technology part of it? The new Golf Enhancement Center.
Golf Performance Center. I'll talk about that. So, he can talk about hydronics. I can talk about how to get your golf game better. But so we built as a 4-bay building on the far end of our practice range, the west end of the range. We have the ability, 3 of the bays you can hit indoors, or you can open up garage doors and hit out onto the practice range. 1 bay is a simulator bay where we can go play virtual golf courses or virtual practice, however you want to do it. It's got a great reception area that I think that may be the favorite part of the whole thing for the membership. Is
like in here with all
it's kind of like in here with TVs and a bar, and it's a good place to cool off or grab a glass of water or return a phone call, whatever you want to do. And we have a director of instruction we just hired this spring, and he started in April. So his full-time job is just leading our instruction program. But it's going to enhance our junior program. It's going to enhance what we were able to do year-round. But we have TrackMan in every bay. If you're familiar with the technology. Swing catalyst in 2 of the bays. One of our bays is a fitting bay, so we can fit golf clubs. We kind of set it up to we plagiarize what good people do, and that is Club Champion or some of the cool clubs that you've seen that have all of our fitting components on the wall in one room versus a bunch of carts and things like that that we drag down there. So we also have a sand putt lab that's mobile that we can move. So we've got everything that state of the art that we could possibly offer the membership to help them improve their game. So
it intrigues me, and when Russ said it made the one hole a lot harder.
Yeah.
What was the mission of the remodel? Not only the hydronics.
How about if we both answer that?
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna take a stab first. So
hopefully our answers are the same.
They're probably gonna be the same. So I think most people would say, okay, you make the golf course harder. You're trying to get a major, but one of the things that he and I talk about all the time is trying to provide every type of player, no matter how far you hit it or how short you hit it or whatever it is, to be able to enjoy the golf course. Southern Hills is never going to be an easy golf course. You could play from the 100-yard plates, it's not going to be an easy golf course. But we wanted to expand the teeing areas so you could, regardless of how you play, you could find a place you would enjoy playing the game. I think that was one of the biggest challenges that Gil had was take the Perry Maxwell design elements and architectural features, but make it for today's game. And I don't mean like the professionals of today. I mean like the members of today hit it farther than the members of yesterday. And so I think we achieved that wholeheartedly. You can play wherever you want to now, up to 5,000 yards essentially, all the way back to 7,600 yards. So I think that's the big challenge, and I think we nailed it with that.
Yeah, I take a little more romanticized view of it. Carrie's absolutely right, and I won't by any means claim that this is the driving force behind the board's decisions. But from my perspective, this project, in a way, has always been about what I call the Ebbets field quality. Right? You want if you went to a game with your grandfather, you want to be able to take your kids to that game, and about connecting a private club that has a long lineage of memberships. You want today's generation of members to be able to share what they experienced with their father, with their kids. And we're fortunate enough to have what Carrie referred to as the Mona Lisa of Perry Maxwell design. Yeah. And we weren't purposefully getting away from it. It just kind of was happening for different reasons. And we needed to recapture that so that no matter what happens in the future of the club, we know we're going to have a great club with great members and provide great services, but it's all going to be geared around a playing experience that can't be matched anywhere else in the country.
Russ Myers, Superintendent of Golf at Southern Hills, and of course our Director of Golf out here, Kerry Cosby. We have a whole other section with him. We're going to get back and talk about the game of golf, about the recently finished U.S. Open, about the Oklahoma State young players that now made their PGA debut, and look forward to the next major big events coming to Southern Hills Country Club. Stay with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
service is amazing.
Food's delicious.
I love the avocado fries.
I love the energy.
Local beer, great food, truly friendly service.
Look all right for you?
Bricktown Brewery, come and get it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, now, from the beginning.
We're talking golf with two representatives of Southern Hills Country Club. Kerry Cosby, he is the pro there, the director of golf, and then Russ Myers, the genius behind all the hard work out there, the renovation of Southern Hills. How about that? Let's talk some golf now, though. U.S. Open just completed.
Yeah.
The three majors. The calendar's changed a bit. What do you think of the majors? They kind of all of a sudden ganged up on us.
Yeah, I like the flow of it. I think the Players' Championship moving to March, then you've got April with the Masters, PGA now in May, U.S. Open in June, in the British Open Championship, what they call it now,
Yeah.
in July. Makes sense for, you have the FedEx Cup and you have the President's Cup and Ryder Cup after that, but not interfering with football. I think it's good for golf long term. Really good for the PGA Championship.
What do you think? We've asked when we've had other golf experts on.
Right.
Why is there not a dominant player like there used to be in the 70s and 80s?
Well,
Hurt his back.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Tiger, that's right.
He had a wreck in his driveway.
You get tough years there.
a few bad things.
Yeah.
I think those guys are just, Tiger and Jax, and they're so far and few between. If you look at the history of majors, like 4 people ever, I think, have double-digit majors. And so it's rare to see some talent like that. Those guys come. Obviously, there's a lot of talented players now. The fields are deeper, but I'm not sure they're wired like he is. I mean, the appreciation, I think, will come a little bit later for Tiger, of just the never ever mailing it in, just never missing a cut hardly at all, and just didn't matter if he was just playing awful, he'd somehow figure a way to make the cut. And
you talk about amateurs having an impact now. Victor Hovland of Oklahoma State University and his teammate Matthew Wolf, the NCAA champion, just both made their pro debut this past week at the Travelers. And again, Victor, he cast a check for $16,000. It was interesting. If he'd been a pro at the Open, his check would have been $225,000. So, but
my guess is he's going to be okay. Yeah. Those guys they're studs. They're
don't you
really
think
good.
college golf has really lent to the number of good players out there now?
I'm sorry, is it?
The college golf has increased the number of good players.
I think the match play has helped just because of AJGA has been around a long time and it's really grown the game, but the match play piece of it is made it more of an attractive viewership, and people are playing golf and seeing that. And when I was in college, which was a long time ago, your mom and dad were there, maybe a girlfriend. That was about it. And other than when Tiger played, he'd have 2,000 or 3,000 people following him. And Phil Mickelson, I played in the same time he was, and he might get a few people, but not more than 50.
Yeah.
But now you're seeing great crowds at the tournaments and great interest from the Golf Channel, and I think that's. And these guys they're fantastic.
And Russ, the challenge for you guys, golf course superintendents, who take care of the golf courses, is how do you contain these players? They keep hitting it longer and further, and it's just really a challenge.
Yeah, you're not going to contain these guys. I mean, the irony is we keep trying to perfect everything, and those perfections only make these guys better. I mean, the smoother greens you give them, they don't care how fast they are.
That's right.
They're going to make them. So it's got to go the other way somehow, and I don't know. I think
although Pebble, if you look, I mean, they had 6 holes under 420 yards. You have small greens, and you grow the rough up, and you make them firm. Obviously, there were more people under par in this year than there was in 2000 but but they also had perfect conditions. They had wind back in 2000, so it's still a challenge when you have rough and you have firm conditions and smaller greens. So we're about the only championship venue that you're going to have smaller greens than us would be Pebble.
Is it a combination of better equipment and more athleticism, or because they do attack those 72?
I think it's a better equipment because they're getting better. All the manufacturers getting better at what they do. The fitness side of things is a big deal. People hitting the ball farther. I hit it 7 iron farther today than I did in college, and then you add the technology from a teaching standpoint. Just you learn faster. You can get things. You can dial things in, and all that. You still have to handle the moment. You still have to have a good stomach for it. You still got to make putts. Right. And that's the big
Every
difference.
stroke counts one.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Talk about the schedule, Kerry. The next big event, 2021, coming to the club, right?
Yeah, 21 Senior PGA Championship. It was just at Oak Hill a couple weeks ago, or last month, up in Rochester. We're excited about it. May's a little bit better time than August for you guys to come out and watch, but also for him to have greens that are
big
good.
hole. They've got 2 dates for the big PGA Championship.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? 20, 25, and 2030 are open slots, right?
25. We're hoping for 25, but I'm probably cautiously optimistic. I think it's probably going to be 30, unfortunately, but we never know. So we're hopeful for 25.
I've got to ask you, W.K. Warren, of course, one of the great founders of golf and one of the founding families of Southern Hills and stuff. He's involved in his actual golf course, his family golf course at Notre Dame has a big event this weekend.
This week they're having the U.S. Senior Open at the Warren Golf Club, which was designed by Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw. So way back, great facility, and I know he's excited to showcase his course to the world.
That'd be great.
He is such a neat guy and such a fan of golf and Tulsa and of course Notre Dame too. But he's really a great fan of the city and Southern Hills.
Guys, thanks for joining us. We have something for the 2 of you, hard-working guys.
If you get over there, you can get that bill.
Perfect. Perfect.
Your wife and son just joined us, right?
That's right.
Gary,
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Good to be with you guys.
Gil and I are thinking about applying for membership, by the way.
It'd be great. We'd love it. You guys would be nice.
I'll tell you a story when we get off the air.
Go down with the Southern Hills Country Club. Nothing like it anywhere in the world, guys. We're going to come back, talk some baseball with the voice of the Tulsa Drillers, Dennis Higgins. Stay with us from the Bricktown Brewery in South Peoria. You're at Watching Oklahoma Sports Scene.
I bring Tulsa's voice to Oklahoma City and Washington. I build relationships with elected officials and community stakeholders to develop policies that grow the Tulsa region. I loved my time at Rogers State University. The personal relationships I developed with professors really helped develop a skill set that would help me serve the Tulsa region that I care about. It all started for me at Rogers State University.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
And we're back at the Bricktown Brewery on South Peoria with our Oklahoma Sports Scene show. And happy to welcome in the voice of the Tulsa Drillers in the past 11 seasons now, Dennis Higgins. Dennis, welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene, my friend.
Oh, nice to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Good to get you out of the booth finally. Tell us about your career in baseball as an announcer.
Oh boy, where do you want to start?
From the beginning. Give
Well,
us
this is my 25th year overall.
Okay.
25th year doing baseball play-by-play, and I started, actually got a strange start. I was old. 34 years old, I was driving a beer truck in Sacramento, California. I had a degree in government and had never been in radio or any kind of media at all, and always wanted to be a baseball play-by-play broadcaster, do radio. That's my passion, baseball radio play-by-play. And I just went back to grad school at San Francisco State University. I had a great broadcast department, a chance for students to do all the broadcasts, football, baseball, basketball. We had a cable station there in San Francisco live, did all the games, did the radio, the student radio station. And then just got started in the minor leagues. I got my first job in Helena, Montana. That's the Pioneer League, a rookie league team. The Helena Brewers, Milwaukee Brewers minor league team. And tell you how long I've been in the business. Mike Matheny was a rookie player for the Helena Brewers. He came up through Milwaukee's system. Later went on to become, of course, the manager for the St. Louis Cardinals. And now he's not even in baseball anymore. So I've been around a long time. But from Helena, I advanced up the ladder to Eugene, Oregon. That was short season A-ball in the Northwest League. Then I got a break. I got to go to full season in Wichita in the Texas League, the Wichita Wranglers. And then from there, I got a really big break through some connections and people I knew and hard work. I got to the major leagues with the San Francisco Giants. And then from there, I kind of worked backwards. I went to AAA Fresno, which is the Pacific Coast League, AAA baseball. And then I did a stint back in Eugene, Oregon. I liked that so much. I was an assistant GM and a radio broadcaster. And then from there, I came back out to Tulsa. This was my 11th year with the Drillers.
How did you get to Tulsa? I mean, why did you come to Tulsa?
Well, when I was in Wichita, I was very good friends with Mark Neely, the longtime broadcaster for Tulsa, and then also Bruce Howard. And when I was in Wichita, we'd come here just once or twice a year as the visiting team, and I always liked Tulsa. I loved the ballpark, the old ballpark. They're at 15th and Yale. And when the job came open, when Mark got the job to go to San Diego to be the Padres television broadcaster, Mark Neely, they called me up, and I actually refused the job when they first asked because I'd been out of baseball for a couple of years, and I thought, you know what, the grind of 140 games in 153 days, that doesn't seem like too appealing to me right now. But then some things worked out, and I thought, well, you know what, I'll give it a whirl. So I'm really happy I did because I've never worked for a better organization.
Well, do you travel with a team?
Absolutely.
You do travel with a team. You know, I can remember, and I know Chris can remember, Matt Krieger and Lynn Morton used to do the games, and they would sit there and they'd go, it's a hit, you know, because they were getting
reenactments.
Reenactment.
You know, one of my goals before I retire is I'd like to set up a reenactment, and I'll see maybe if the Drillers would let me do that. I don't know how good it would sound, but I think it'd be fun to sit back in the studio here in Tulsa and rely on somebody's account and then try to do the play-by-play, and see if people would realize that I was doing a recreation.
Exactly.
Well, I've always been impressed, Dennis, because you're the announcer. I mean, there's no color guy, no analyst with you. And how many games are you talking about a season with the Drillers?
140. And if you get to playoffs like we did last year, it's another 10.
And of course, that's a lot of bus riding. What's our longest bus trip?
It's about 12, 13 hours to Corpus Christi.
And I've always been impressed. You made it clear, Dennis, that this really is your job. You're not looking to go off to the major leagues.
No. At my age, I don't think a major league team would take me. But no, I'm happy as could be. And I just, like I said, work for the Tulsa Drillers is really a dream job. The front office, the owners, the ballpark. I'm absolutely in love with One Oak Field. It's very, very special to me. It's my favorite ballpark in the country, not just because I work there. I've been in a lot of leagues, a lot of different ballparks. And like I tell people, this stadium has a vibe. It has a heartbeat. There's just something about it. I just love going to work there every day.
Well, let me ask you this, with the All-Star game coming out, will you have any involvement with that?
We'll be doing the game, correct. On the radio, we're doing it on the radio, and also the webcast, which is becoming very popular now. People around the country are watching these games on the webcast.
Let's update the Tulsa Driller baseball team right now, though. They finished the first half, 7.5 back of Arkansas in the Texas League North standings there. But boy, off to a great start for the second half so far, Dennis.
Yeah, it's a great start. We're 5-1 to start the second half, doing really well. But the key is right out of this All-Star break, we're going to go to Little Rock, Arkansas, and we're going to have to play the Arkansas Travelers. That's a team we're 8-18 against, and more importantly, hard to believe, but we're just 3-12 against them in our own ballpark.
Now, as we tape this the show on a Monday, it airs Wednesday. That means we've had the All-Star game, but I know Tulsa's very proud of the fact. First time in 6 years we've had it at our ballpark at One Oak Field and get a chance to show it off to the league. Yeah, and I think that the front office is really looking forward to this. They've spent a lot of time and money to get the field ready. Not that it wasn't ready, but it's just in tip-top shape. And
It's ready to go, and I think it's going to be a real good time for the people that come from out of town, the players, and talking to players around the Texas League, this is their favorite ballpark. They love coming to Tulsa. They love the ballpark. They love the city.
Yeah, great.
That's interesting too because of the duality of soccer and baseball in there. You would think there would be a little bit of wear and tear, but how's the field done through that?
Well, it's Gary Shepard and the grounds crew have done a marvelous job. I was just out there today and looking at the ballpark, the field, the stadium, and just in wonderful shape. And even with the soccer games, they're able to convert it back and forth, and they just do a tremendous job.
That's great.
As Dennis mentioned, right after the All-Star game on Tuesday night, just past Tuesday night, they're off to Arkansas and Springfield, June the 27th through July 3rd. Then come home, and what a better way to start than fireworks on July 4th.
Yeah,
huh?
It's going to be back-to-back fireworks. That's one thing that's become a Tulsa tradition.
That's right.
Every Friday night, fireworks shows, and they're usually sellouts, and we're going to blow it away. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or the 4th, 5th, and 6th fireworks.
Oh, that's
Talk
great.
about some of the young talent on this ball club. Of course, we're the Los Angeles Dodger affiliate. That's worked out pretty well, hasn't it?
Oh, very well. Yeah, it's not a knock against the Colorado Rockies, who were here before, but just not the same interest. When we put up highlights on our Twitter site or Facebook, thousands of people respond. I mean, it's the LA Dodgers, the fans. They follow the minor leagues closely, real close. So it's been a great marriage. Just the 5th year. We've been with the Dodgers already, 5 years.
Well, they have a reputation of building through the minors.
Yes.
I think that's the big thing for Tulsa and Oklahoma City.
You know, recently there was 6 former drillers in the starting lineup for the Dodgers about 2 weeks ago. And then the past 2 nights, this past weekend, you had back-to-back walk-off home runs by Matt Beatty and also by Verdugo. Alex Verdugo hit back-to-back nights at Dodger Stadium. Former drillers, back-to-back walk-off home
Can't
runs.
get better than that.
No.
And Tulsa, as you well know, Dennis, has such a great baseball tradition and history.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing, we had a game this past homestand. It's weird to say this, but the reaction we got when an umpire call went against us in the 9th inning, it was 7,000 people, the boos. Spontaneous, just incredibly loud boos, which is a memory I'll take away with all the best memories I have of the ballpark, just because it was a key moment in the game. Umpire call went against us. It would have won the game in the 9th inning with 2 outs. And the crowd just responded, unlike anywhere else I've ever been. The Tulsa fans get it. They're baseball fans.
But Dennis, again, give us the radio frequency where the fans can listen to you call the Tulsa Drillers.
1430 The Buzz.
Very
1430 The Buzz, and also sometimes 1300 The Buzz.
11th season, voice of the Tulsa Drillers. You'll enjoy his play-by-play. We've sure enjoyed it. We'll love your enthusiasm about the city of Tulsa and the Tulsa Drillers. Dennis?
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it very much.
That. We have
You get a
you,
night
Dennis.
off. Go to Bricktown on us.
Gift card from us.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy
Appreciate
it.
that.
Dennis Higgins, voice of the Tulsa Drillers, back with more on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Stay with us.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Boundary, and here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jinx, District Gazette, and then of course the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene here at Bricktown Brewery. We have two guests today from the Tulsa Roughnecks. DJ Dean, who is a former Union Redskin, as I am, and Wayne Farmer, who is sitting in today because Wayne has been on as much as I have. Welcome to Sports Scene.
Good day, mate.
Good to be back.
Got a big match coming up Saturday night. Big fireworks. A lot going on out there at Monarch Field.
Huge match downtown. Yeah, we host Rail Monarchs, a really good team in the USL Western Conference. Got a good little beer special, 6:30 with $2 beers. So I know where you guys will be sat.
There we go.
And actually have fireworks after the match. So yeah, it'll be a great event downtown, and we're super excited to get a lot of people there.
DJ, we mentioned your Union Redskin, and of course I had to say, well, you know, Gil Cloud was the athletic director there, but he wasn't born.
He wasn't born after I left.
Give us your background, DJ. When were you at Union High School, and how'd that help you go on with your soccer career?
I'm a Tulsa native, obviously, born and raised. Went to Union all 4 years in my high school. Graduated in 2017. Played soccer all 4 years and enjoyed it.
And then now just 20 years old, now you're a professional, right? Talk about that drive to become a professional and how it's worked out with the Roughnecks.
Well, it's always what I've wanted to do as a kid. So I just kept determined, or I was determined the whole way through high school. It's what I wanted to do, and it ended up working in my favor. So I'm just blessed.
Where did you go to elementary school?
I went to Skelly, TPS.
Yeah, you were in TPS.
Yeah, I was in TPS.
And then came to Union.
Union.
Good recruiting.
Exactly. You played the midfield, number 23, right?
Yes.
Give us some of the nuances of midfield. As the fans watch you in a match, what should they watch? What are you trying to do, and what are your responsibilities out there in the middle?
Well, I played more of a winger midfield, so it's more of a attacking.
Attack. Sure,
yeah. But usually I have to get back and up and down the field, so that, and then I have to get a lot of crosses in, passing, connect with the midfield, connect with the back line, and basically just try to move the ball forward.
Well, you know, Wayne, we were talking earlier, the record looks a little different, but yet we're not that far away from being in the lead.
A couple of points away from playoffs, which was a goal for us at the start of the year. 1 or 2 victories, and we're right back up around 5th place. It's the tightness of this conference this year is so exciting, and everyone across the U.S. just anyone can beat anyone, and that's exciting for every fan and every viewer watching it on TV right now.
Next segment of Oklahoma Sports Scene, we have Sonny D'Alessandro, one of his young soccer players, and talk about youth soccer and the impact that's on the Roughnecks and how much you guys are involved with youth soccer, and very importantly, the Hispanic community too.
Yeah, no, we have a pillar at the Roughnecks, which is to support the city that supports us. Yeah. So, young people like Connor, who actually know Connor very well. He's a great little soccer player, and for us, we want to support the soccer community, support the local youth soccer community, and hope that players like Connor can represent the city's professional team, being the Tulsa Roughnecks. DJ Dean has thousands of kids in Tulsa look up, and they want to be the next DJ Dean, and we want to provide Connor the education and the coaching and the platform to be the next DJ Dean. Right, Connor?
Yeah. DJ, I guess there's no secret though, right? Practice. For these young soccer players, what's your advice to them who want to be you someday?
Keep working. It's possible, obviously. Keep working, keep your head up, and anything's possible, in my opinion.
How do you feel being a professional soccer player and having those kids look up to you? Do you feel the pressure of that, or is that something you want to?
I feel it's a dream come true. It's a blessing, and I enjoy it every single day that I go out there. It's my job, so I love it. It's what I want to do.
Now, everybody's abuzz talking soccer right now, and of course the focus is all over in France, the FIFA Women's World Cup. As we tape the show on Monday, our U.S. women continue undefeated and moving to the quarterfinals with a 2-1 shaky win over Spain with a couple of penalty kicks there. And we're talking about that and about the video replays and some of your thoughts on our USA women's team so far, Wayne, and what they're doing over there.
Well, I think the U.S. women's team is fantastic. I think they're doing a great job. I think they're coached very well and definitely one of the favorites. My opinion on VAR.
That's that video assist replay.
Yeah, I think there's something about the referee making a mistake and it kind of being, my team that wins because of it and Gil's team losing. So that's something that we've all grown up with. But I think it's in its early stages. Will it go all the way? I'm not so sure. We'll have to see.
It's interesting. Our athletic trainer is from Spain, and we had the game on our flat screen in our office today. And all of a sudden I heard, no! And I thought, what is going on? And it was the penalty situation. Yeah, it was different.
Interesting call.
Yep. Your thoughts on the the women's game, and I know that the men, of course, were still reeling from not making the World Cup field. How much progress is the men's U.S. national team making, do you think?
I feel like we took a step backwards, in my opinion, rather than going forward.
Right.
But, I feel like we have a lot of young talent all over overseas and everywhere. So, I mean, the future's bright for the United States, but obviously they have some work to do.
Yeah. How do you think the women have gotten so far advanced above the men?
That's a good question. We're just a powerhouse, you know. We're just the team with the target on our back, and they're just really, really good. So.
Hey, talk about women's soccer. We have a pretty solid team right here. Talk about our Fortuna women's team and their involvement here in Tulsa.
Yeah, no, so our women's team is actually a point away from clinching the division, and they'll be hosting the conference playoffs. Coached by Yolanda, which a local coach who coaches at RSU, and you know, for amateur sports with Fortuna Tulsa, hopefully winning conference, and Tulsa Athletic hopefully winning conference. Yeah. It's a good thing for soccer, and you know, we'll be out there supporting the women. We'll be out there supporting Sonny and his team, and you know, the more that Tulsa soccer teams do well, the better.
And the Bircktown women's team also played right before you, right?
Yeah, they play at 11 at One Oak Field.
Okay,
and
very
love
good.
to invite people out.
Looking forward to that. Also, then Yolanda Thomas will be a guest with us on Oklahoma Sportscene, coming up on our taping on the 8th of July. That's right after they decide the Women's World Cup. Tyler, she'll have some good insight on that, I'm sure.
Perfect. Be a great guest to have on.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we have two good things here for you.
That's right.
And if you have time off, go to Bricktown on us. And
Thank you very much.
DJ, bring a date, DJ.
Of this?
Oh, yeah.
I've never eaten here, so
you'll
it's
enjoy
my first
it.
time, yeah.
And best of all, I know you're in training, but they got a lot of great craft beers there too, right, Wayne?
Gil, he better be getting a salad with
There
us.
we go. Yeah. Right.
Wayne Farmer and DJ Dean of the Tulsa Roughnecks visiting with us here. Got out and support the Roughnecks. They'll get some more big matches come through the summer as they battle for the playoffs here. Again, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having me.
And coming up next, again, we're going to have some youth soccer to talk about, and you'll enjoy that too. Stay with us.
At Bircktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brew house? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bircktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bircktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, now, from the beginning.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Staying along with the soccer theme of the Oklahoma Sports Scene show this week, just finishing off with the Tulsa Roughnecks a moment ago. Want to get youth soccer involved, such a big program in this entire state of Oklahoma. And one of the guys who's been one of the real driving force behind it, good friend of ours, Sonny D'Alessandro. Sonny, good to have you with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Chris, thanks. Good to be here.
And who's this young star with you?
So this is Connor. He's definitely a future star. He plays for the 06 team in our academy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell us, how old are you, Connor? How long have you been playing soccer?
For 6 years.
6 years. And you're how old now?
12.
See, the youngest we've had on the show, Coach, I think?
So far.
That's right.
Setting records already,
Indeed,
right?
Indeed. What is the attraction to you of youth soccer? What is it about the game that you like so much, Connor?
I just like how creative it is
and
like how many chances there are in the game.
And your position, what do you like to play? What part of the field?
I play like center back, center mid, and basically anywhere my coach tells me to play.
That's a good coach.
That's a great answer, right?
Tell us your involvement in about the Premier League you guys work with.
Well, so yeah, we joined the NPSL, the National Premier Soccer League, in 2013. You know, there'd been a little bit of a gap in not having a soccer team in Tulsa since the late 80s, or sorry, the early 80s when the Roughnecks were here. So we launched that. It was very well received, and As we grow, it was just adding an academy was just a component that we wanted to have. I mean, it's great bringing in players from all over the world in the summertime. We get to meet some incredible individuals, but I think for me, it's important to create a real pathway for kids to develop through one system, local kids, and go on and be able to compete here for our first team. So it's nothing new. It's the same in Europe and South America. I'm not inventing anything here. We're just kind of copy and pasting where it works.
Is it unique for the United States, though?
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, I don't think you see a whole lot of it. I think the way players are developed here, in my opinion, is very rigid. They play against their same age for the entirety of their development, and they get to be 17, 18, and not as many people play, so they're playing less games at arguably the most important part of their development, 17, 18 years old. So with our new, we have a new team in the UPSL, our under-20 team, so here in 3 or 4 years, when Connor gets to be 15 or 16, like he'll be jumping up and playing against men, which was kind of how I was able to play professionally. Was Victor Moreland would drag me to training when I was 15 or 16 years old, and I was able to adapt and survive and had a short pro career myself. So just kind of trying to create that system for the younger ones and create a new trajectory for players.
Well, 90 teams competing in 4 regions across the country.
Yep.
We're in the South Region Heartland Conference, right?
Yep, in first.
First, okay,
We're in first right now.
Oh, congratulations.
Right,
What's the team record right now?
We 5 wins, 3 draws.
Okay.
So, puts us, I think we're 7 or 8 points clear at the top of the table right
Very
now.
good.
Have you seen, Sonny, in youth soccer, one of the things we keep hearing about in all other sports are the travel teams and the AAU teams and everything. Are you seeing that in soccer where it's only competitive and not enough rec to train kids to get into soccer?
Yeah, well, I think the thing that's most problematic for me, Gil, is that we've somehow made soccer a relatively expensive sport to play, and it shouldn't be.
How is that? Yeah. Gosh.
Fees, registration fees, uniform fees. So I think one thing that we'll look to do is try and make that a little bit more affordable. I mean, obviously we don't want to overextend because we're just starting up as an academy, but we want to be really approachable. We want to represent an easy door to walk through and approach this wonderful game that's given me so much, and I'm sure the same for Connor as well.
Connor, give us a bit of your background in soccer. You mentioned you started when you were 6 years old, and go to Rejoice Christian, right?
Yep.
How much time a week do you devote to soccer? How many times are you practicing? How many games do you have a week, would you say?
We have 2 practices a week, and usually have 1 or 2 games a week or something.
Where do you play most of your matches?
At the Union Fields.
Okay. And you're following, I guess, the FIFA Women's World Cup, I'm sure, pretty closely. Tell us, from both of your standpoint, the impact of the Tulsa Roughnecks and your involvement with the Roughnecks too, Sonny.
Well, they're the pro team in our town, so I mean, I don't know how much of a relationship there is there. I've known Wayne forever. I know Barry, the owner. Mike Insian, their head coach, and I kind of grew up together. So, they've hit a little rough patch of form right now. And hopefully they right that ship, and I'm sure that they will. But I mean, there's clubs, there's cities all over the world where there's two teams. A little bit of friendly banter back and forth, but we'd love to play them in the U.S. Open Cup at some point. I think that would be make for a very interesting evening in Tulsa.
Wow,
but
it'd be great for soccer in Tulsa.
They call it a derby, right, in England. I think the Tulsa derby's long overdue.
And the impact of youth soccer throughout the state of Oklahoma, Sonny?
It's funny because I think that it's just such a great way to, kids find ways to get in trouble, right? And soccer is a proven way for kids to connect with other people, create goals for themselves. And so as far as impact, I think it has a massive effect on the way kids, boys and girls, are developed in the state of Oklahoma. And it's, we're long overdue in having an Oklahoma national champion team, and so we're trying to push in that direction.
Well, I tell you what, if you get a night off, we've got a Bricktown, and I don't know if I can give one to Connor.
You're an amateur, Connor. We can't give it to you. Mess up your eligibility. Connor, what's your goals for soccer? Where do you think you'd like to end up playing this game?
Well, I would like to play college and professional. My goals.
Good. Well, we sure appreciate you being here today on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Again, thank you. We've got to get a plug in by Del Sandro's Restaurant. Give us a little plug for the restaurant.
Oh, geez, yeah.
How long have the families had this restaurant now?
Almost 30 years, yeah. So my dad started in 1990. 18th in Boston. It's all my great grandmother's recipes.
Great Italian food.
Stay in school, kids, or you'll end up with an apron on like me. So thanks for having us.
Good having you.
It's been great.
Good job, buddy.
Connor, good luck.
Yeah. He's one of the better evenings we've had here, Coach.
Absolutely.
We come back. Gil and I try to live up to these two. We have parting shots straight ahead.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
We wrap things up on Oklahoma Sports Scene with our parting shots. Here's our view of things. Let's start with Coach Cloud.
I have two real quick. Number one, I want to congratulate the Tulsa World on the All World Awards. What a great night for high school athletics in the state of Oklahoma. Number two, I want to congratulate the Michigan baseball coach who last weekend, when he was asked the question, how do you recruit such players to Michigan? He said, we recruit the United States of America. We go into the inner cities and we find kids who are hungry and want to play baseball. He said, all these showcases and travel teams, we don't even look at them. We're looking at those kids who really, really want to play baseball. Good for you, Michigan. I hope you win.
As we wrap up the spring sports schedule, a tip of the cap to Patty Gasso and the incredible job she's done as the University of Oklahoma's softball coach. Just completing her 25th season, a win percentage of almost 80%. It includes, of course, building a dominant program that is including 3 national championships, 8 trips to the Women's College World Series, and just missed out on another national title this past spring. She's also, of course, dominated the Big 12 Conference. It's expected that Patty would be OU's next millionaire salary coach. Now, started with former football coach Bob Stoops, the very first millionaire on the campus in 2000. They've added a few since then. But Patty Gasso is probably deserving of being in that club. She's worth $1 million and more at the University of Oklahoma. Great job, Patty. Well, great show coming up next on Oklahoma Sports Scene, Coach. Looking forward to with July 1st and looking forward to July 4th and very patriotic moment here.
Well, the Folds of Honor and Major Dan Rooney, what a great job he's doing for our veterans, and we'll be really excited to have him on the show.
Eric Bailey at Tulsa World's got a lot to talk about, along with Alex Brown, just retired as the athletic trainer for the men's basketball team of 32 seasons there. Also a heck of a golfer himself, and hope to have some surprises for you as well. Join us next time. We look forward to it. Join us next time right here on Oklahoma Sports Scene. So long, everyone.